alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
We good. We gooch. Yeah, that sounds good. I think it's on like the perfect setting for how intimate this is.
Gotta date us.
It's too soon.
It happened, Teddy.
It's too soon.
You're literally a captain of this.
I wanted to talk about it.
Oh, no, I ruined it.
I think the most important question to ask in this situation is, what drug did he overdose on? Do I care about his music? Not really. Do I care about how he died? Yes, because you know why? He was like our age.
And with today's world, you will now.
I do have a hypothesis, though.
What is it?
I'm pretty sure he just overdosed on binge-watching Joe Rogan podcasts.
Well, actually, Eminem probably just murdered him.
Elon Musk. He smoked a fat.
Eminem got in there. He put his mom's spaghetti down Mac Miller's throat. He overdosed on it.
On his mom's
too saucy. And then, Eminem's just killing all the white rappers.
She uses good garlic, though. Fresh garlic.
Minced.
Oh man, so what were we talking about? We were talking about a couple different things, but I think I wanted to lead this into the first and most noticeable factor of today's episode, and that is that we have a new addition.
A fucking noob.
We got a newbie, and he is a friend we referenced in 2 earlier episodes. We didn't have a name for him, but I'm sure we talked about him.
Oh, it was Fagito.
Don't believe him.
Estoy Espagito.
Don't believe him. That wasn't your name. There were 2 other episodes, and one of those people is not here because he wanted to play the release of Spider-Man for the PS4.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
He was pressed for time, and apparently that's more important than friendship.
Wait, hold on. Am I a replacement?
No.
Oh.
I was going to have all 4 of you. I was going to have all 4 of us on one episode because I've done one of those before. I've had 3 other people on one episode before.
He does like 3 dicks, so.
At once.
God, it feels like you're
I
introducing
don't even have
me.
enough holes.
It feels like you're introducing me as, like the new guy on the casting couch.
Because you are,
yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't know if I were to do a little bit of research real quick. Let me.
No! Don't Google my name.
I'm breaking into it. No.
I feel like first timers don't get that many video hits. You don't really become like big in porn until like your 35th.
No. You're absolutely correct. It's the same kind of mentality. I do like to introduce a new person on an older person's episode. Strawberry Shortcake was first introduced on Django Phillips episodes. Mr. Skellybones came in on Disco D episodes. Bunch of Baby Ducks came in on Terry the Tickler episodes. I know these names probably don't mean anything to you. But this is episode 101. This is going to be the first episode after 100.
So is this season 2 then? When did season 2
If you
begin?
would think of it in seasons, I don't.
Okay.
If there's a season difference, it's old Mike and new Mike, and that's we got the new Mike on 26 to current. So if there was a season 1, it was the shotgun Mike from episodes 1 to 25, but we have come a long way since then. If I were to pull up a list, I want to see the last episode we introduced someone.
Oh, you do have a Excel sheet.
It was actually you two.
Makes sense.
You and Punxsutawney Trill. I am here with Deputy Dewey on my right. And he was the last person to be introduced in episode 84, which means there have been 17 episodes.
Well, shit.
Since then. So I do like to introduce new people every once in a while, and I do think it might not have been something I talk about in episode 100, but I want to bring more newbies onto the show. And you were always someone that we talked about in episodes 84 and 97. Punxsutawney Trill, you, me, and Deputy Dewey used to participate in a particular activity that Punxsutawney Trill doesn't like to reference openly on the show to protect his identity. But it's
PewDiePie. Come on, we can say it now.
We used to film things, and as a group, and
I feel like this is like the weirdest foreplay to some weird porno.
I'm introducing you and saying why it is important that you come in on an episode with Deputy Dewey, so I need to know your name.
Oh, I am Lanky Lucifer.
Lanky Louie! In the house.
Lanky Lucy.
I'm still gonna call you Louie.
Alright. Lanky Louie, Lanky Lucifer. I do enjoy this. That's a good name. And you know why that's a good name? Because unbeknownst to you, I already pre-titled this episode.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not written down.
Oh, okay.
In my mind.
In my head, I have already come up with a title for this episode, and it has everything to do with your fucking name, which is so fucking cool. I pre-titled this episode 101 Damnations instead of Dalmatians.
So clearly your person pick has to have 100 of you as a little fucking demon.
Oh, no. I meant
I know.
Damnation, Demon, Lucifer. Bunch of baby ducks. Now he would make sense, because he is Legion.
So many.
He is many. So, Lanky Lucifer, I fucking love that name. At one point, I wanted your name to be a rendition, a play on Van Helsing, the famous vampire hunter.
I mean, that'd be cool and all, but my father gave me this name. So, I take pride in it.
What exactly inspired him to give you that name?
The one day he was just at the grocery store, and...
You're a tall cunt.
Oh, yeah, he's like, hey, you're tall, and, you have a lot of limbs. So that was step one. We got lanky.
Got lanky.
And,
Next
thing you know, we're leaving the grocery store, and my dad puts from the cart into the car, and he takes the cart and he just puts it in the middle of the aisle, and that was the start of my evil days. Just leaving shopping
Fuck
carts.
This cart. Let's go.
Leaving shopping carts in the middle of parking lots at your local ShopRite.
Piece of shit.
And then also, it's it's a real trail of evil. Really, in this world, that we'd be going to the gym and I would put my 35s where the 25s are, and just not racking weights properly, or not even at all.
Where's your God now?
Yeah, I'm
oh shit.
I mean, that's just part of
those old men that they just always have their dick out in the old gym locker room.
Hey,
that's Lucifer's work right there.
Look at it.
Yep,
Can you grab my phone for me?
I guess I can.
I feel bad now that I threw it. I knew why I needed it.
He done needs it.
There were a couple.
To do the sexton.
There were a couple things I wanted to talk about. In short summarization, I want to give you 2 minutes tops
Okay.
to talk about The Nun. The Nun came out recently. And
Is that why you have your phone to time me?
No. Because I can time you just looking at that.
I know, I figured.
So, tell me about The Nun. I have not seen it, and I probably won't.
Well, you've seen Conjuring 2, right?
I mean, I will see it, but
You haven't even seen Conjuring 2 yet?
No, I've seen all of the Conjuring. I've seen both of the Annabelles.
Where my tie-in here is that The Nun is introduced in Conjuring 2. It's just the story of that. You have a little...
Lick my balls.
You have a little introduction of that, and then it drives into the whole story of Vera Farmiga's sister? Daughter? It's literally like the same family stars in these films.
Oh.
The one that was in American Horror Story.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
I do know that actress.
It's straight up just... They do all the cliches, and the acting is actually horrendous in it, so I would not recommend...
It is also an American Horror Story, so...
But it's just... It wasn't even her, though. It's the priest guy that's in it. And it's just... I don't know. Like, you didn't like Hereditary.
I did not.
If you didn't like Hereditary, you're definitely not going to like this one.
See, no, I've kind of gone back on it. I respect Hereditary. I just don't enjoy it.
It's jumped up since the last time. I was very confused the last time that you were like so adamantly against it, just because I didn't really like.
I wanted to troll the situation. I didn't so much want to troll you. I just wanted to troll the movie a little bit.
Okay.
But that's. I mean, I'm gonna
It's all
watch
jump scares. It's all I'm not talking about Hereditary. I'm back to...
No, you're talking about...
The Nun.
Nun.
Yeah.
Nunya.
And also, like, I'm really looking forward to not the sequel, but just the porn parodies. I'm waiting for those to come out. It's going to be
fun nun.
I think there's some nun porn parodies out there.
I mean, I've seen
Sister Pact.
I've seen a few of them.
Instead of Sister Act. Still stars Whoopi Goldberg.
I would like to say another
Sisters
movie.
Yeah, she got a fat ass though.
Whoopi.
I gave her that ass.
Her name is literally Whoopi.
She traded it in. She was like, "Yo, I'm gonna sell you my soul for this fat ass."
So, to change topic a little bit, I recently went to the Mahoning Drive-In for the first time. Do you guys know of this place?
Mahoning Drive-In.
Mahoning Drive-In in Lehighton.
Oh, it sounds like a Native American.
It's
It is a
100% a
reservation.
It's no longer in function, I assume.
No, it absolutely is.
What?
So there are 3 drive-ins around here. Have you not been to any of them?
Oh, I've been to Becky's and Shankweiler's hundreds of times.
So Mahoning is about 20 minutes north of Becky's.
Okay.
And they only play original 35mm film.
Oh, that's dope.
On the widescreen, and it is always a classic. So this last weekend they did Suspiria into Hausu, which is a foreign flick. It's my first time seeing Suspiria. I thought it was fucking awesome. I know that makes people kind of say, like, what the fuck is your first time seeing that? Most people regard it as, like, a masterpiece.
Okay. Cult-like following.
Well, I wouldn't even say cult. Like, I would say, like, when it came out, like, Argento, the guy who made it, he was just, like, a masterful director. So people just regard it really well. So now it's getting remade. So I told myself I needed to see the original before the remake comes out. I'm gonna love the shit out of that. And then it's my, like, 4th or 5th time having seen Hausu. And I watched that with, Tom Bombadil. I watched that with Franz McBoohoo. I watched that movie with Disco Dracula. That movie is fucking hilarious. It was done like 3 years prior to Evil Dead. It's Japanese. It is corny. It is stupid. But at the same time, it is terrifying. Their old school special effects are just awesome. They're just great. And seeing it on film like that, on like a giant screen with a bunch of other enthusiastic like horror fans, so cool. So fucking cool. I can't recommend that place enough. Like, everyone who goes there or works there, they just have such a love and respect for old school, like, cinema. It's super awesome. They're doing Gremlins there at the end of the month. And I think the actor who stars in both Gremlins movies, Zach Galligan, is actually going to be there. Like, signing shit and talking to people.
I've heard they might do a remake of that, actually.
I think there was a fan-made project that came out like a year or 2 ago that went really well.
Oh, okay.
And so it's kind of revived interest.
And I heard he will be back in it again, too. So
that would be cool. He's kind of old now, so if it would be about like his kids or something, that would be kind of neat. You ever see Gremlins?
No, I can't say I have.
Great. So anyway, Lanky Lucifer, do you like horror? Would you say you're a horror fan?
No.
Great.
As someone from the depths of hell, no, I really don't enjoy horror movies.
Yeah.
They don't depict truth.
I mean, I think John Wick 2 counts as a horror movie for you. Oh, damn it.
It's gonna be tough.
Lucifer.
Lanky Louie.
A little lanky Lucy Lou.
Lanky Louie over here. How you
Lucy
doing?
Louie. I make people watch me masturbate.
Oh my god, he's one of those guys that
totally
just pulls
did.
the stick out. So anyway,
Just whipping it out.
What a
that's
brave,
what we were
brave
talking
man.
about that earlier.
Brave man.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it.
Hot. Dickings.
I just imagine his dick looks exactly like his head without any facial features.
No, it's still got a goatee and beard or whatever he has.
No, I meant like eyes. The beard was implied.
Yeah.
Now I'm just imagining the guy that was in The Shield and he played the Thing, just like himself down there.
Yeah, like a little version of him.
Little Michael Chidless.
Chickless.
Little Michael Cockless.
Yo, did you guys see that Rule 34 too? Did you guys see that?
So Lucifer literally just has porn references for us.
When I told him he could bring whatever gimmick he wanted, he immediately said, "So dick jokes."
Oh.
So you're not a horror guy, and you're not particularly interested in reading, one has to ask why the fuck you're here.
As your replacement, I was good on late notice. So, so...
He's running the campaign trail. He's trying to get the vote next
You're
next
the one who
October
had
31st.
plans that fell through.
Well, yeah,
You said you were going to have rummies with Punxsutawney. And then those fell through because he'd rather play video games than have friendship.
And dip into his slow draining of a hole of his alcoholism.
That's what he said. Those were his exact words.
Yeah, it's just like
He did give me a message, which I think is relevant now that you just said that. The message is... Whatever joke you just told me you stole from someone, also you have an STD. And then he told me I have to kiss you on the lips. So
first you gotta buy me dinner.
So yeah, we don't know why you're here, but I'm glad to have you. and I'm glad that you can be the first guest on this new century of Lots of Pasta. Because this is episode 101, as in 101 damnations.
Deputy Dewey's on fire tonight.
Quite literally. We're not going to do anything serious on this episode.
I am a very serious method actor.
So we the last couple episodes have been like super serious. We wanted to bring in the final episodes in the first 100 to a real nice end. So now we're gonna take it back to humble beginnings, and we're gonna read some Toast. Toast is from a Tumblr that is now defunct. It is called The Other Side. So if you anagram that shit, you got TOST. Toast. Which is one-page bullshit horror stories. But I do have to ask, it being your first time on, do you have any favorites, even not being a real fan of the horror genre? What do you levitate to?
Scary Movie 3. It's my favorite one.
I just like when the aliens pee out of their fingers. They're like, you pee like this, right?
I feel like 2 was just so good though.
2 is
strong hand.
2 is real good, but I say 2 is only real good because in the middle of the movie they stop and do a Nike commercial.
Do you enjoy 1? Because I feel like I didn't enjoy 1 that much.
And that's because, I'm sorry, you're not going to like me saying this, but
you hate the Williams brothers.
You're gonna have to fucking deal with what I'm about to drop on you, Deputy Dewey. I'm not a huge fan of Scream. Oh!
It's okay. It's okay. I understand. It's
Wes Craven, I like what he did for Nightmare on Elm Street. I think the meta-ness of Scream wore off halfway through the movie. And I think the latter half is just not nearly as good as the first half. When people are really dropping, when things are really questionable.
Everyone's
I was also super young.
To their opinion.
I was also super young.
So you had all these thoughts while you were super young. Jesus, man, you are a director mind if I've ever met one.
I wasn't in love with it. And having shown you my favorite horror film ever made, The Thing, it's just you could see where our tastes differentiate. I'm one for suspense. You are one for thrill.
And action. Well, I did love Randy, too.
So, seriously, Scary Movie 3 is the answer you're going to go with?
No, it's scariest thing was actually something I read, not a movie. It was Overdue Bills.
That's never
and
a good
I
thing.
Knew it wasn't payday that week.
Should I just include a ba-dum-dum track whenever he says something?
Hey-oo, somebody else's joke.
So,
No, I kid. That's not...
Are you going to give me a serious answer?
Probably not, no.
then I don't want it.
Okay, fine.
So we're gonna get into a little bit of toast.
It's really just warm bread, isn't it?
A little bit of butter.
That's true. But, I mean, not all toast.
Wasn't the last time I saw both of you when I was making breakfast for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You literally made me not so French toast.
Yeah, it's like kind of French toast.
Yeah.
If you put pancake batter on a piece of bread and then you throw it in a pan, you kind of make French toast.
Miss your frowns.
Yeah.
Miss your frowns. Yeah, no we don't.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
We're going to start with Deputy Dewey. This first story is called Nonexistence.
This is the story of a girl.
What does nonexistence make you think?
Not existing is what non-existence makes me think.
Great.
Thanks, Webster.
All right.
Take it away.
You guys ready? Here we go. Do you ever wonder how scary death is?
No, but now that you ask, I could definitely.
How scary is this captain? Well, think about it. It's the one thing that we truly know absolutely nothing about. Some people may cite religious beliefs of an afterlife, and others claim they just focus on life. But it's really something that is totally and utterly foreign to us. And what if the religious people are wrong? What if death really is non-existence? That it's simply life over once the brain dies. Terrifying, huh? Of course, the reasoning goes that you won't notice it, since you won't exist. But let's say a certain someone could expose you to non-existence. Let's say this person could actually let you experience the state of not existing, and more importantly, let you remember it. He'd probably be able to get you to agree to anything in order to avoid that fate.
Kinda like a devil.
Hey! Devils, deaths, where's the deputies in this story?
Tangentially.
That's too big of a word.
Tangentially.
For certain people near death, their brain activity sometimes ceases completely for about 3 seconds and then returns, only to shortly die in a mere conventional fashion. As another aside, many hospital orderlies have noticed a man wearing a suit that they have never seen in any catalog or on any person before. Interestingly enough, when you ask them about the suit, they will struggle for a moment and reply that it's hard to describe, but they are sure they haven't seen it before. Ask them about the man, however, and they will freeze up, spasm violently, and reply, "What, man?"
What man? What man? No, there's no comma there. It's just what man. So it's like, are you imagining that they're seeing like the specter of death, or do you think it's some kind of otherworldly thing?
Or is it fear?
A little death ghost.
It could be fear.
Just straight fear of, did I choose the right religion? Am I going to regret this?
I think we're all going to figure out that it is absolutely non-existent.
What are you talking about? I'm the devil. I'm sitting right here. I'm your wonderful guest.
As a person that gets stabbed like 4 times in the back and lives, and then gets shot and lives, and I think he even almost gets his throat slit and lives. He just lives.
Yeah, he repented.
You guys know shit. I'm alive.
Yeah, but are you living?
No, I'm really not. I'm dead.
So I'll read this next one. I know it's only a paragraph, but I didn't think you would have fun pronouncing this last name.
I don't speak Eastern European poor people.
So this is the story of Leon Czolgosz. Leon Czolgosz was the assassin of William McKinley, the 25th president of the United States, and he was electrocuted for his crime on October 29th, 1901, at Auburn Prison in Auburn, New York. Among the personal effects found in his cell was a U.S. quarter stamped with the date 2218. The face in profile on the quarter was not George Washington, but rather a face which has yet to be identified. True fucking story.
Nah.
Yeah, man.
Nobody has that many Z's in their last name. Dude, that's too much, man.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Leon Czolgosz. When I first heard that story, I thought it was fucking awesome. Fucking time travelers, man, trying to make sure shit goes properly. You ever see
Well, where is this then?
He's just coming back and bribing him?
Where
was
is
it 12 Monkeys? What?
Dude's coming back in time just to bribe people with a quarter because he can? It's like,
No,
haha,
he
inflation
came back
over
in
the years.
time to assassinate the president.
Oh.
You ever ask yourself that question? You know, like, what would happen if you went back in time and killed Hitler? You know?
Oh.
There'd be a lot more Jews.
How would we know?
The
How would we
is.
know who this person is?
Leon Czolgosz?
Like how would we know that he is? Yeah, how is he Leon? He came back.
That
in
is
time
the
and started up
identity.
the whole
That is
identity. Okay.
that is the identity he gave himself. The documentation he chose.
Did all of that. Wow. I guess back in those days too, it wouldn't have been that hard.
Absolutely not. 1901. I love Stephen. Like, honestly, my favorite Stephen King book is 11/22/63, and that story is about a guy traveling back in time to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and it is fantastic. There's a series on Hulu starring James Franco as the guy who goes back in time to try and stop the assassination, and essentially, when he stops it, it like fucks the future. It like ruins it. It leads, the country to multiple wars and, just a really bad outcome. So like he ends up having to go back and like let the president die. I like the Leon Czolgosz thing. I think it reminds me of 11/22/63 a little bit. Why William McKinley? He was so stupid.
He was an asshole.
What was the point? What would killing him change the course of the universe to?
Wait, what number president was he? He was...
I think it was 25th, it said.
Oh, was it 20? Oh.
Right?
Hmm? Oh, shit.
25th president.
Yeah, that was...
Good year.
It wasn't... Yeah, early 1900s. That was... right before the boom and... What the hell was happening?
That's like... that's pre-Depression. That's Steam era. Probably.
Yeah, Model T came out in 04, I think it was.
So cars were just coming around.
Not even.
But it was mostly buggies. So, real old. I'd like to think Wizard of Oz times. Anyway. Why are you laughing? Wizard of Oz was filmed in 1930.
I know.
But it takes place.
I
In like the early 1900s.
But like part of me was just thinking like, how do we know what year it is in Oz?
Now that makes sense. You're like, haha, fucker. So anyway,
Logic.
This next one is called The Real Monsters.
I gotta...
Presenting
For the very first time.
Lanky Lucifer in his first story.
Thank you. This is a great honor for you guys.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh, I'm gonna. When I was a little boy, I was afraid of monsters. They always lurked in the dark, places where the light didn't reach, it didn't shine. It didn't matter how many times my father's... Oh, man.
Oh, daddies.
Yeah, okay.
Well, one was your father and one was your daddy.
Daddy shark.
Yeah, one pays the bills.
Stop it! No! We'll get copyrighted.
As long as...
Bag shark, do 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 do. Oh, bag shark.
As long as either daddy or father pay the bills, I don't care. It didn't matter how many times my daddy shone a flashlight into the dark corners of my closet. It's pretty gay. I knew the moment the light was gone, the monster would come back. And he always did.
You guys ever, as a kid, experience any kind of freaky things that you needed, like...
Having our parents come in late at night to do horrible things to us.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I heard my mom and my dad banging, so yeah, that was...
I used to be afraid of what's under my bed. Like a normal kid.
I grabbed a bat a lot.
Neither of your answers are good.
Yeah, well, in 1998, The Undertaker threw Mankind off and he fell 16 feet through the announcer.
Oh, not the shit post. He's my fucking favorite. Anyway.
Okay. When I grew up, I learned why. Real monsters don't hide in dark corners and closets. The real monsters are the ones that live behind your eyes, in the darkness of your mind. And it takes more than a flashlight to send them away.
Psychology twist. Oh, the real monsters are in your brain cavity.
Yeah.
So, it does make sense, doesn't it? Depression.
Yeah. It's literally all in here.
Depression, the worst monster of all. Diabetes comes like a thief in the night.
I can't eat my cheesecake anymore, Jennifer.
Oh, man. This is the day everything clicked.
Every single thing. The great geniuses throughout history had one startling thing in common. They all went through a day where everything clicked. Everything seemed to make sense. And everything they did from that day on was perfect. This is a very rare phenomenon, but cherish it if it happens to you. There is an opposite side to this coin, however, where one will have a day that is so devoid of feeling, so depraved, that every day from that point on they will be slowly deteriorating into a physical manifestation of pure insanity. If you live to have one of these days, kill yourself immediately. For after 24 hours, you won't be able to die.
What?
You'll just roam the world getting worse and worse.
This person has serious depression.
Kill yourself.
Jesus.
Immediately.
Kill yourself.
Christ.
We at Lots of Pasta do not condone killing yourself.
No,
Unless you're truly unhappy.
If you actually
then
go...
just fucking end it. Fucking end it. Fucking end it right now.
If you go to AMC theaters right now, they have a commercial where they're like, "Hey, transgender people, don't kill yourself." And every time I see it, I'm just like, "What if I'm a straight man that wants to kill myself?"
I have not seen this. What are you watching?
Apparently, trannies kill themselves a lot, so there's like a whole organization to stop it.
I'm going to interrupt you with my next story, which is called The Walmart Prophet, which it sounds great, so I'm going to read it in my great voice. There is a Walmart somewhere in Indiana with a concealed trapdoor in the frozen foods section. If you tap on the door 3 times with your left foot, a voice will ask you for a toll. Open the trapdoor, put 3 lemons inside. When life hands you lemons. And close the door. After 10 seconds, you will hear a knock on the trapdoor. And find a red piece of paper that tells you 2 of the following 3 things. The exact location of your death, the manner of your death, or the exact date and time of your death.
All 3.
No, only 2.
No, give me them all. I want to be ready for it.
You just keep knocking.
Just
like, hey, excuse me?
I want to be
I want location and manner, because like, then I know how and where, and I'm just like, alright, just never fucking go there. Ever.
No, you need all 3. You need to strategize so you can plan to attack these motherfuckers.
I don't like deadlines.
Because it's definitely going to be horde of ninjas.
What?
Yeah, easily.
Oh,
that's the only thing that's going to be able to kill me.
Is that really what you think?
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I recently got put on medication for my heart. Oh. So I actually think my heart's going to explode one day.
Probably while banging your hot girlfriend.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude.
There you go.
Oh, she's so hot. Thoughtimus Prime.
So anyway. You want to know how you go? By puss?
Maybe.
Death by puss.
Going mouth deep on a chalupa.
Going mouth deep on smelling the bell.
What? How'd it go?
I just want you guys to know that ever since that one time we went to Taco Bell together.
It's that time.
With Punxsutawney Trail. Ever since you guys explained to me why it's called Smelling the Bell, I've always called it that. And everyone,
you invented it, you cheeky fuck.
Everyone hates me when I say it, but like at the office I'll walk in and I'll be like, yo, on break today, who wants to smell the bell? And they'll be like, shut the fuck up. You eat so much Taco Bell.
You don't ever not smell like the bell.
Yeah, who wants to smell the bell, yo? Oh, man.
The bathroom smells like it. We know it's you.
Yeah, no, it smelled like pad thai today. Like pure Thai food.
Drunken noodle, number 5.
My asshole, I mean. So anyway, this next story is called Snuff Film.
Speaking of eating ass.
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right, what voice should I put on for this one?
however you feel, man.
Oh.
It's a snuff film.
Oh, this is like pre-glory hole days.
Yeah.
Cool. These are great. You put a nickel on the machine, you just see some boobies.
You see some titties.
That was porn.
I'm playing
that
cards.
was porn back in the day, man.
Titties.
Then they graduated to the Sears catalog. You ever see someone die on camera?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I actually have. Live leak.
I don't like this story. This
Live
is,
leak.
Like, even for me, it's uncomfortable.
When I saw last podcast on the Less Live, they actually played like footage of like a guy getting like his fucking like hand chopped off.
Yeah, I mean,
those head chop off
that-
videos too, man. They
that
gotta
guy
get through
died.
the spine. That takes some fucking hacks.
I know you're real. Like, you appreciate. You're a fan of like ISIS propaganda videos.
No, I'm not. Why would you say that?
Where I come
on my
from,
fucking show.
the answer to this is always beatings.
Because you're kind of describing ISIS propaganda
God
videos.
damn it! No, the only
Oh, you mean
one I
it's
saw
not
was
it's not the Jedi way.
It was. What about the Wookiee fights on Kashyyyk? So anyway, the only thing I had seen was like gangs in Mexico, like footage that they would share on the internet to try and scare other gangs, like beheading
Jesus fuck.
gang members. Like I've seen those, but nothing ISIS related.
I don't see that on YouTube. Where do you subscribe
Oh no, this
to?
isn't YouTube. This is Live Leak. This is like the dark web.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's not fun.
I know. I live there.
Oh great, fucking read.
Ah, shit. Okay, so we're going here. A snuff film is recording of the actual murder of a human being that is subsequently passed around for entertainment purposes.
We're making vigorous masturbation forms.
Like, there's people that actually...
Absolutely.
That's weird. That's weird. I mean, I have a problem with, like the stepmother thing.
Yeah.
Like, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
But then there's, like,
Incest.
these people.
I literally saw you watching a compilation of best vinegar stroke faces.
I mean, that's how you know
It's in
they're
the
really
movie.
giving their all. Like, that's how you know they actually enjoy their job.
Vinegar.
Yeah. It's like, it's just like, you know, that guy, we appreciate that guy. Look at that. He's giving it his all. Good on him. He's in it for the paycheck.
That's a lot of penis.
Suicides and accidents don't count.
They don't.
Yeah. According to the MPAA.
Motion Picture Association of America.
MPAA. Yeah, good for you.
Wait, is that really?
Yeah, Motion Picture
Oh,
Association.
okay. The FCC.
Fuck Colin Powell.
Oh, fuck Colin Powell. How would you? How would you, though? What would your position go to?
Federal Communication Commission.
There you go.
Wow, you know all of these.
Oh, man, he's good. And the FBI.
Federal Bureau of Boobies.
Oh, you're so
He
close.
almost had it.
So close, man. I think you can really get him next time. I believe
Female
it.
Body Inspector.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. And the ever-loving Snopes.com.
Ooh, so Snoopy.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Snopes?
It's like
Leaks.
Nope.
Oh, it's anonymous. Okay. There's no such thing as a snuff film. Yes, this includes Faces of Death. Anything you think might count is faked, falsified, and not made for that purpose. Such as those tasteless videos you find on shock sites. Oh no. This is a lie. There are, as best as anyone can tell, between 30 and 40 snuff films floating around out there. The earliest is a silent film on decaying nitrate celluloid, simply titled
La mort d'un filet.
I love how you know I'm not going to know how to say that, but
And
you give me
there's the date.
you give me science words. I got you.
La Park and Mart. Dune Julie.
Dune Philly.
Bonjour, y'all. And the bears the date of 1896.
That's crazy old, man.
Yeah, a little bit. The latest judging by the hairstyles and the presence of a Frankie Says Relax
Relax.
t-shirt
Don't
was
do it.
probably made in 1983 or 1984 and is on Betamax.
Betamax.
you wanna
Which
come.
means no one's watching it.
Oh man, what are you talking about? I got a Betamax track at home. The films vary in violence, but they all include seemingly realized sex.
Ritualized.
Oh, I don't recognize that genre.
Ritualized sex.
followed by slaying of a girl with dirty blonde hair and piercing blue eyes who appeared to be around 19 years old. Every film has the exact same girl on it.
That's pretty fucking weird.
I mean, no, that's just her specialty. Some girls strictly do feet. She strictly does murder.
Strictly do murder.
Yeah, that's
good.
Yeah.
This right here's for all
Black-eyed
them
peas.
black-eyed children. Interesting.
I'm not singing Fergie.
Nah, it's all right.
Oh, thank God.
Black-eyed children.
Fergalicious.
This is actually a topic, so this might sound like a post.
Okay. Most documented cases of paranormal events vary widely. Each incident, while perhaps displaying a common pattern, seems to be unique. With hauntings, there are kaleidoscope possibilities as to what the entity may be. But with the black-eyed kids, we find a nearly unwavering set of circumstances, with most reports sounding as though they could have been given by the same person. In other words, it seems the BEKs have a very specific MO. Imagine you're sitting at home one night. You're all alone reading a book by lamplight. Seems
Twilight.
pretty cool. It is late. Oh, you naughty, naughty boy. There's a sudden chiming of your doorbell.
Ding dong.
Is that a metaphor?
No.
Oh,
Who would be stopping by this time of night? Probably Uncle Sue.
Uncle Sue.
Life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. You hesitate. Perhaps answering your door would be a bad idea. But what if it's an emergency? You decide to push your trepidation aside and open your front door. Because you're not a pussy. Outside are two kids. Not really kids. One appears to be in his pre-teen years and the other his early teens. They are dressed casually in jeans, t-shirts, sneakers, and hoodies.
And they're real fucking cool.
Oh, man.
Yo,
Brink.
what kind of Huffy
20 years.
Who's got the pegs on their BMX bike?
Who's rocking them soaps?
Jeez, they're so cool.
I don't think they're that cool.
Fuck you. You probably hate.
You don't got the railing I do.
Yeah.
Man, I'll see you guys on Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, check out these light up shoes, bitch.
No different than any other kid around the neighborhood. They stand some distance from the door, with their hoods up and their faces cast in the shadow. You can't get a good read as to what they look like. What are you doing? Where are your parents? You feel an unexplainable pang of impending dread, but you swallow it down, chastising yourself for being irrational. Can I help you? Your question is directed at the older boy.
Can we please come in and use your phone?
The boy says softly. Who do you need to call?
Ghostbusters.
Oh, classic.
Gotcha.
Shouldn't you be home? Ghostbusters. Okay. You ask.
Ugh.
Freaky ghost bed.
You're not about to let strange people in your house at this time of night, no matter how young they are.
No, we really need to come in. Our parents will be so mad if we don't call them.
Says the younger, more skater dude of the boys.
Yeah, bro.
The fear that you had choking back is now working its way up your spine. What is it about these kids that has you feeling such dread? Probably because they're all fucking doing the hashish.
Oh man, they're stoned.
Those kids. Just kidding. You tell the kids, why don't you just give me the number and I'll call? This doesn't satisfy the children, who have now become increasingly insistent. They begin to demand to be allowed in.
We're not dangerous.
They tell you.
You don't have to be afraid of us. We won't hurt you. Just let us come in and use your phone.
Sounds like a bad idea on my part.
We won't touch your holes.
That's a lot of holes to be...
Just your phone's holes.
Well, at your wit's end, you tell them to go away, and you shut and lock the door. As you turn back, you hear knocking. In full panic mode, you decide you will not open your door. Gaze out your peephole.
People.
I'm peeping out my hole. Suddenly, the boys' faces are right in front of the door. You recoil in horror as you see that both have eyes as black as pitch, dark as coal, no whites, no discernible pupil, just fathomless darkness. Their words are muffled through the door, but their lips are easy to read.
Let us in.
Those who have encountered BEKs claim that the kids generally show up at their homes. A person will be sitting in their house, usually at night, when there is a knock at the door. A Upon answering, the homeowner finds usually 2 children in casual clothes, just as modern kids would appear. Another scenario is that kids appear at your car window, needing a ride.
Yo, give me a fucking ride to the mall.
That's this right here, Junior, is why we can't take you
I
anywhere.
want to go tear up the mall.
No kids is a little misleading. Most reports say that the 2 who usually appear are in their early teens, or at least pre-teens, with one slightly older than the other.
Why do you care about their age so much?
I need to know that, like, I
are you
can't
18?
bang
Are
them.
you 18?
Like, just
are
because...
you 18?
I mean, skater dudes sometimes look older than what they are, and that's why all the girls love them.
Old enough.
Her Tinder profile says she's 18.
The chicks dig scars. The clothing description... The clothing description is very consistent. Jeans, sneakers, t-shirts, flannels, and hoodies.
Jinko jeans, old school Adidas, a shirt that says
Nirvana.
Kill yourself.
Oh.
And your favorite replacements DVD. What never changes in these reports is that the BEKs want something very specific. An invitation.
Are they vampires? Vampires need invitations into your domicile.
That's like one of the ones that not everyone knows.
Oh,
I feel like, right? Because it's like
Oh,
the
I
garlic,
knows.
the stabbing, in
It's
the
a
heart,
very,
you can't see in the mirror.
It's a gothic concept.
They're very
Not
seductive.
everyone knows that.
But you have to give them respect. They have standards, like they obey the rules. It's like, garlic. Nope, can't do that.
Some do.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, daylight. Nope, sorry guys. No, I'll let you guys have that space.
Yeah, and then Matt and Kim play. At first polite, they become quite insistent when you tell them no. They argue and bargain with you, and assure you that they mean no harm. They just want in. Please, let us in. And all of that would be terrifying enough if it wasn't for those eyes. Those black and ominous eyes.
Okay. How'd you feel about the Black-Eyed Kids? Black-Eyed Peas. Fergalicious.
I want to know what's their deal, yo.
Well,
what are they gonna do when people let them in?
Good luck, because here's the next one. The follow-up is called Black-Eyed Kids in Kansas.
Oh crap! So it basically
It is
same,
Wizard of Oz.
same thing,
Yeah,
but they're
it's
not
coming full circle.
But they're knocking on a trailer this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us in, Dorothy.
Oh, only if you promise to bang my sister.
Nah, she's my girlfriend. It was warm for a December afternoon in Hutchinson, Kansas, when Katie came home from work in 2008.
She sounds hot.
Katie's ride dropped her off across from her duplex, and as she stood in the street, her ride moving slowly away, she knew something wasn't right. I noticed 2 boys standing in the driveway, she said. One had longer, dark hair, and the other had his hood up, so I couldn't see nothing very well. The teenagers, about 15 or 16 years old, seemed to be watching her. Katie felt like they were waiting for her, but little did she know they were just trying to sell her weed. She steeled herself and walked nervously across the road toward her porch. The boys had lurked around her neighborhood for months, but they'd never been so bold as to stand this close to her home. I had seen them before, lingering in the yard and whatnot, but they always left before I got out of my ride's car, Katie said. I had seen them late at night, as well standing across the street when I would go outside to have an occasional late-night cigarette.
What a hawk.
Yep, sounds like.
But although pangs of unease told her to run, their boldness angered her. She stopped and asked them why they were on her property. They told me they needed to use a phone and that the neighbors would not let them in. That was when I noticed their eyes. They were coal black, just black. No white, and not even a hint of iris or pupil. Fear shot through her, but as evenly as she could, Katie told them that we literally just read this story, and for it to happen again so soon is rather disappointing. She didn't have a telephone. Katie walked up her porch steps and began to unlock her door when the boy in the hood spoke. He asked if they could come in for a glass of water.
Oh, they're learning.
I turned to look at them again, thinking that maybe my mind was playing tricks, but no, when I turned and looked into their eyes, they were pitch black, as the first time. These children with dead black eyes had spoken softly to her, emotion and vocal inflection absent from their words. As she looked at these boys whose long hair and hooded sweatshirts she felt hid more than skin, she knew she had to get away. I felt panicked and fearful, but also very vulnerable and cold. It was like I wanted to let them in, but I knew there was evil present. I felt uneasy before seeing their eyes, but now it all came out. Then one boy said something that turned her fear into complete terror. The hooded one then told me they couldn't come in unless I told them it was okay, and that they hoped I would because they were thirsty. I opened my door and darted inside. At this point, I shut the door and locked it. She dropped onto the couch, her breaths coming in short, heavy gasps, when something tapped on the window behind her head. One of the boys stood there staring through the glass. I remember his words very clearly. "Just let us in, miss. We aren't dangerous. We don't have anything to hurt you with." I was beyond frightened at this point. Katie jumped off the couch and ran through the duplex, checking doors and windows to make sure they were locked. I did wonder if they really couldn't come in unless I invited. I didn't want to find out. I sat in the living room, silently waiting for a sign that they had gone. When her boyfriend came home a short time later, the black-eyed teens were still at the house. He asked if I knew who the two boys outside were. Fucked me.
Dude.
I'm so sorry. Me so hard. That's alright. He asked if I knew who the two boys outside were, and I said no. He told me they had been standing in the driveway when he pulled up, but walked away when he stepped out of the car. He didn't notice the boys' eyes, but they gave him a strange feeling. Katie later asked her neighbors if the black-eyed children had asked to use their telephone like they had claimed. The neighbors noticed the teens standing in Katie's driveway, but never spoke with them. Although it's been more than a year since Katie turned the black-eyed children from her door, she knows they're still around. I still see them every now and then, standing across the street watching, but they have not approached again. What a lame story.
What are you talking about?
You liked that?
Yeah.
You liked the Black-Eyed Children?
Yeah, it's just like...
It's exactly like their second album.
But just like the psychological...
I still want to know what happens when somebody lets them in.
Like, the world will never know.
Like, you are, like, just the feel... Like, it's a premise of horror movies.
Yeah.
Feeling unsafe.
You know, Strangers essentially begins with someone asking to use the phone. They're just knocking on the door in the middle of the night. "I've been in an accident. Can I use your phone?" That's like literally the beginning of the movie. I don't know if I would be stupid enough to give into that, but you know why I wouldn't be? Because I got one of those cool little, I got like a hatch in my door. So I can like open it up and be like, hey, fuck off. And then I could close it. You know, like a castle.
Wait, so was that a horror story, or was that just how to go to door for Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah, that was the how to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the pamphlet.
Not like the sequel, which is how to go door to door.
I feel like
with Neon.
You're really going to enjoy this next story, because it's called Please Come. Please come.
Well, now,
please come.
Please, this is a, This is a, family program. We say arriving.
Yeah, we've only been smoking and drinking, and all the kids want to hear the scary stories.
I like to do the fapping.
Yeah.
Please come.
Well, they have to learn what fapping is one of these days. I'm glad we're the ones giving them the talk. All right. Speaking of young smut, a 15-year-old boy in a small town in Maryland, sat down at his computer after getting home from school one day. Go Eagles. He turned it on, logged into AIM, classic.
Oh, yeah.
You already know. And was then surprised to receive an IM, or instant message, from a classmate of his who had been absent that day.
What's up, faggo?
Can I get that homework?
Yeah, but you gotta change it. Make it so different.
Classic, man. Wait, which one were you? Were you the one asking for answers, or were you the ones like providing it?
I never once did a homeworks.
No, but seriously, like that defined you in high school. It's like what you were like. Did you give out answers?
I became a cop. What do you think?
Oh, you gave out answers. You a rat.
He stole the answers.
Dude, man.
Cops means like C's, man. You got C's.
C's get
throughout
degrees.
High school.
Yeah. 5.5 years. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, there it is. Yo, keep me on track. Keep me on track. Okay, thank you. It consisted of 2 words. Please come.
Already did. I mean, can we play our fucking internet game now?
Those are some good words.
Confused, the boy sent a reply asking why he'd been absent that day. After 2 more messages and 15 minutes with no response, he decided to get on his bike and head over to his classmate's house. It was a short ride, only about 5 minutes away.
You fell! You're bleeding!
Like, this woman was giving Deputy play-by-play of how he fell off a bike. And it's just
you fell! It's like, I know, lady.
She was like
bleeding!
She was like the Chris Berman of making play-by-plays of you falling off a fucking bike.
The whole time I'm just like, please walk away.
I want to forget about this as soon as possible.
When he got to the house, okay.
Yeah.
He got there? I think he got there.
He got to the house.
When he got to the house, he found the door was unlocked. Inside, partly dried blood was splattered all over the walls and floors, and unrecognizable figures were crumpled up against the far wall. It was missing an arm and a leg, and the bloody streaks on the floor led away from the body into the kitchen.
He's like standing there. He's like, hey, can you give me a hand?
My leg.
There's all ketchup. Got you.
When they said break a leg, I thought they were being not serious.
Oh. I feel so lucky. I feel so lucky, though. How the fuck did that mean good luck?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cripple yourself. What do you say? Good luck.
I hope you break a body part.
Yeah, sorry.
The boy slammed the door closed and immediately called 911 on his cell phone. Yeah, they had cell phones back in the day. Lucky kid.
But his ringtone was Skater Boy.
You want to go crash the mall?
I listened to Good Charlotte. It's fine.
I loved Good Charlotte.
Guys, have you seen Shrek 1?
Shut the fuck up.
Lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
They're always complaining.
Always complaining.
When the police arrived, they found 3 corpses as well as a track leading away from the house from the back door. Their forensics report concluded that the entire family, the boy's classmates and his parents, had been killed sometime the previous night.
So how did he send the IM? It was his ghost.
Or it was someone
or it was
cleaning up. Yeah, like you know how like John Wick calls the cleanup crew?
It's not the cleaners.
Please
It is the killer.
Please come.
Asking for another victim to come and masturbate on his face.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, the last time someone said that to me, they got like a fucking chest full.
Of
My C. Melita.
oh.
I've said it once,
Good
I've
for you,
said it
bro.
1,000 times. If you don't come, they feel so like demoralized. It's
really do.
amazing.
They really do.
And they think the whiskey dick is a myth.
If that's the way you get off,
It's like
then you better not get off.
Shit. Alright, let's do one more round. This sounds like a good story.
The Suicide King.
man, he's so good at it. He was the king of
He's
suicides.
the best at it, man.
He's like crown me,
The
crown
best
me.
there
bitch.
is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Anthony Bourdain totally killed himself. Good job. All right, so
Yeah, but he went like a bitch.
modern playing cards are filled with layers of meaning and symbology that can be traced back centuries. The 4 kings, for example, are based off real rulers. The King of Diamonds represents the wealthy Julius Caesar. The King of Clubs is the brutal Alexander the Great. Spades represents the strong but kind David of Israel, and Hearts represents the emotionally disturbed Charles VII of France.
Wait, is that real?
I probably.
God, I'm gonna do so good at trivia night.
It is the king that we'll be dealing with today, It should also be noted that Charles was the only one of 4 who was actually there to see the day that his face was printing on a playing card, which may rationalize why he acted apart from the others. Charles' visage was put on the King of Hearts at the very beginning of his rule, but he never really got a chance to come into contact with playing cards until many years later, when he became very ill with a fever and was informed that he would be bedridden for the rest of his life. It was during this period that Charles began learning card games to pass the time, such as an early version of blackjack, Viet In Yong, 21,
Vingt Adun, 21.
What language is that?
No clue.
Okay.
Charles lay in his bed for 2 years, constantly fiddling with the cards and always getting weaker. As time continued to pass, there were reports that Charles had begun obsessing over the idea that the king being the 13th card in a suit was causing him bad luck. He talked about how he was starting to see the number pop up everywhere, and that he was close to figuring out its secret. Of course, his ramblings were blamed on the fever, and by the end of the 2nd year, he had been declared insane, and his son, Louis XII, took over the throne. One day, several months after the end of his reign, one of the Charles physicians went to his chamber to find the frail old man standing in the middle of the room wielding a large sword. Neat.
Just swinging it around.
Heidi hoity hoity do.
I love saying that when I'm swinging around my big, gigantic cack. Before the doctor could react, the king said,
Ils m'ont montré la vérité et il n'est pas signifie pour les immortels.
which, as we all know,
French.
translates into jelly beans.
Jelly beans! He said, get me them all, bring them here to my mouth hole.
Which roughly translates to, they have shown me the truth of 13, and it is not meant for mortal eyes. Without hesitation, the king proceeded to ram the blade in through the left side of his head, between the ear and temple, until it came out the other side. He wavered a moment before collapsing to the floor dead. Man, that takes some serious fucking
dude, that's
thrust
that's
to do that to
Balls,
yourself.
Some real dick.
like that's metal as fuck.
That's hardcore.
Yeah.
He's so hardcore. After the incident was announced and it was made public that the king had gone mad, the image of Charles on the King of Hearts was altered to show himself offing himself.
How considerate.
Although the picture is now shown significantly less graphic, the image of Charles thrusting the sword into his skull can still be found on modern-day playing cards. This is true.
Holy shit.
Perhaps the strangest part of the whole story, however, is the day that Charles chose to kill himself, 7/6/1462. Whether or not it was the intention of the king, the facts that 6 plus 7 equals 13, and 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 equals 13, can only be explained as coincidences.
Wait,
I
what-
liked that story a lot.
Oh yeah, but what year system were they using back then?
But what?
Like, were they using the 10-month calendar or 12-month calendar?
Oh, I have no clue, but that's a really good point. Their numbers probably don't make that much
Loophole.
sense. That also might just be something to tack on and make it sound better.
Yeah, I gotcha, Toast.
So this next story is called House of Mine. This is my house.
I'm gonna make it shine.
Oh, this is Flow Rider.
I'm about to tell you the entire reason I'm so interested in the paranormal. Fucking sit back, relax, put on a fucking seatbelt. Here it comes. If I didn't live in this house, I wouldn't have gotten over my fear of all things horror, and I most certainly wouldn't be running this blog. I'll start with my earliest memories and work my way up from here. When I was a little kid, I had a phobia of the dark.
Pussy bitch.
I would sleep in my parents' room in a cot on the floor because I couldn't handle being in my room alone.
You a pussy bitch.
When I was around 7 or 8 years old, my parents finally forced me to sleep in my bedroom, and that's when it all began.
Ooh, it smelled like it, like...
I started to have
it.
nightmares. They were always about the same thing, and they happened every night. In the dreams, I would be lying in my bed, and my door would slowly open. I was forced to stare down my hallway, and something would slowly appear out of the darkness and walk up to my doorway. It would stand there, and I would blink, and suddenly it was at the foot of my bed. At that point, I would always wake up scared out of my mind and unable to get back to sleep. Although I can still remember the dream, I can never remember exactly what the something was. After about a month of constant nightmares, I would do anything I could to stay awake. Sitting in my bed in the middle of the night, I would hear footsteps up and down the hallway, always stopping at my door. Sometimes I could hear whispering, but it was always too low for me to get a sense of what it was saying. And one night, being the horror movie cliche that I am, I decided to wait for the footsteps and see if it was my parents sleepwalking or getting a midnight snack. Right on schedule, I heard the footsteps coming up the hallway. Gathering up my courage, I opened the door and stepped out into the hallway. I saw nothing but blackness. As soon as I stepped out, the footsteps picked up until it sounded like something was running at me. I just about shit a castle, ran back into my room, and cried myself to sleep. I would never set foot in that hallway alone again. This carried on for a couple of years until one day I got the common sense to tell my parents about it. Because they're amazing parents, they actually believed me. They went out to a local church and got a priest to bless their house while I was at school, and just like that, everything stopped. Fast forward 3 years later, I'm 13, and I'm just starting middle school. I had almost completely forgot about my past experiences because I'm awesome and nothing phases me.
True.
Or because I repressed my childhood, whatever. I was in 7th grade, 10 at night, and I was home alone. My mom was taking college classes at night and my dad was working overtime. I was sitting in my living room watching TV when I heard the pantry door creak open. Now these doors close magnetically and they're a bitch to open. They don't just creak open. So I get up and close them and continue watching the tube. 5 minutes later they start creaking open again and I'm starting to get a little nervous. I get up to close them again. Once again I sit down. Then the door slams open and slams shut and I hear something whisper my name. The whole house shakes and I'm sitting on my couch while all the memories of my nightmares from when I was a kid come flooding back. I race out of my house, call my parents, but of course they don't answer, so I actually call the police because I'm about to have a heart attack. They arrive and I tell them that someone tried to rob the house because I'm not about to tell them that I'm a crazy fucker with ghost issues, so they search my neighborhood while one of the policemen stays with me until I get in touch with my parents and they come home. After that, everything started going downhill. I would feel something sitting on my bed before I went to sleep. Lights in my room would flicker on and off. Temperatures would drop suddenly and the footsteps were back. I would be alone and hear the occasional whisper, always my name. Slowly, I started to feel less afraid of it, mostly because it happened so frequently. When I started high school, it went away again, and my whole attitude around people changed. I was more talkative, started making more friends, and was a happier person in general. I started to hear the whispers again at the beginning of my junior year. The footsteps came back, and I've been hearing a tapping at my door late at night. About a month ago, I heard a much louder tapping at my door. The next morning I woke up to find that all the junk in my room was on the floor in a circle around my bed. Now you know.
Like just the feeling
I really
of
like
being
that one.
all alone.
I actually liked it too. I bring this up on a lot of episodes. I live in a haunted house, man.
Yeah.
I hear so much shit in this house. And I know it's probably the house settling. I know it's probably the way airflow works in this house. This house was made so fucking ass backwards. It really was. The guy built this house for his family, and nothing was done properly. My stepfather always talks about the electrical nightmare that is this house, to reprogram anything, to get any work done, the miracles of renovation, how expensive it can be. So, like, I know it's the house, it's relatively young, I know, but it's also ghosts. So this house is fucking haunted. It makes tons of noises all the fucking time. Even sometimes when I'm recording, you know, I'll be sitting here next to someone and we'll both just be like, that just happened. So anyway, let me know if you guys ever experienced that when you're sitting on this couch with me.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been hearing noises.
Little ticks and stuff.
Yeah, little ticks and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, are the ghosts cool,
You
though?
know, I tend to think, okay, so just because I don't think I've ever explained it to you.
They don't like it when he smokes weed.
No, they love it. An old woman died in this house about 16 years after it was made. So I tend to think it's just Graham walking around, doesn't know what's going on. And I think she thinks I'm a part of her family. So I'm just going to assume that she's okay with me being here because nothing bad has ever happened. I've always felt under presence, or perhaps a little the feeling of being watched sometimes. There are a lot of open windows on the ground floor, so that's probably the reason for that. But I just mean like no curtains or anything. Just like you're always looking at like the streets and stuff. So I like this area because I don't. We renovated the basement. We created the basement. Right. Graham probably doesn't know what's down here. She just thinks it's storage. So I don't experience many things down here. You just hear what's going on in the rest of the house.
Unless she's coming down for Christmas decorations. You know, she's got to put those up.
No, those were in the attic. But the thing is, it's actually, the entire house is empty. Which is why we play the game here. There's furniture in the living room and in the kitchen. There's absolutely no furniture in any of the other rooms, in any other part of the house. So, part of me just assumes that she's not really looking for anything. There's nothing really going on. I think she's just a part of the house, you know? And I'm not joking, and I'm not being nonsensical or anything. I really do think, like, this house has got some spooky vibes, but I wouldn't say that they're necessarily malevolent.
So just chill, Granny.
Chill with Granny. Yeah, there have been some weird moments where, like, you hear a door or something. I know I left blinds in a certain way, and I go up, and they're, like, completely different, you know. People also come and go, so there's always a chance that, you know, I'm seeing something, but someone already altered it, so it's just my mind playing tricks on me. Anyway, this is going to be the last story read to us by Lanky Lucy over here, and this one's called Jinx. You owe me a soda.
Oh, man.
You owe me a granny ghost.
Granny ghost in a can?
You can take her if you want.
No backsies.
Granny tonight's going to be like, please let me in.
Dude.
Dude.
No. If there's some old lady at the door
she's
with a
walker.
Like,
please come. I'll be like, you tell me where, Granny.
What's worse? What's the scariest thing?
I think her asking me to go somewhere with her is worse than me coming on her face.
Oh. Thanks. You know when you say the same thing
at the
same time as someone else? Dude.
Try to avoid that.
Alright. Think of life as a movie, and everyone's got a script to follow. As with every film, these scripts have writers. And when you start reading the wrong lines, you end up getting written out.
That's why I'm single.
That's the story.
Dude.
How do you feel about that last little...
Oh, this Sudoku? What? Yeah. Are you actually counting it?
Oh, no, that's absolutely the last story.
Oh.
How did you feel about that? Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Man, I don't know, man. Like, it hit me. It struck me.
I don't jinx with people very often.
No.
I really don't. I think it's only when I've, like, tried quoting something and someone, like, beat me to it.
It's like, oh, cool, you know the same Anchorman line as...
That's literally what I'm thinking about. It's like, oh, you like Anchorman. That's cool. Lanky Lucifer, how did you feel about this episode? Reading some Toast, getting your first experience on the couch.
I mean, got my feet wet. It was a good day. But no, this was good. Like, it trips the mind a little bit.
It brings up some fun topics that people don't usually talk about.
Oh, no.
I think it's, you know, it's not every episode where we talk about what happens after death, or if you believe in haunts or spooks of any kind. What happens when those kids are at your door and they're not trying to sell you cookies? What to do? What to think? The more you know.
Neat.
Deputy Dewey, what about you? What do you think?
I really enjoyed some Toast.
You like Toast?
I like Toast. I like the change.
It's short. It's simple. I think next time you guys would probably enjoy reading Not Hot But Spicy. It's kind of a longer form of Toast, except it's all personally written. It's kind of like reading out of someone's diary. Ooh. They kind of just say, like, oh, there's this creepy thing that happened.
Dear
you know, like that story you liked. Mm-hmm. This is why I don't like creepy things, because blank. One of the ones we read on episode 95, which came out today, it was a Not Hot But Spicy episode, and we read a story called, like, The Patch, and it's about, like, people who were, like, cops. You know, another one was about a kid who had moved to, I think, India. Another one was about a kid who was at a vacation house on Long Island. You know, like, each of them is just, like, a different aspect of horror, and it's a mixed bag. You never know what you're going to get. but it always sounds kind of anecdotal and cool.
Like the cabin in the woods. Which one are you gonna pick?
Yeah, Lanky Lucifer. You motherfucker.
You can leave now. Get out.
Oh, can I?
What the fuck?
I gotta take a monster piss.
Do you? I'd actually
No,
do too.
Piss on Granny.
She might like it.
No, she likes it.
Is there any final or closing thoughts, comments, or anything anyone would like to bring up or talk about or say?
What, that are relevant at all?
Kind of. I mean, or if you just want to talk about something, you know.
I wonder how many times Cindy Lou Who has been banged.
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was at a strip club recently. I think I found my new wife. She came out and her song was "Photograph" by Nickelback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Deputy Dewey?
Everclear is the 90s version of Nickelback, except good.
I don't have anything to add to either of these comments. I'm just gonna end the episode.
Look at this photograph.
That was really good.
Yeah, everyone says Nickelback is shit, but all of a sudden, like, you whip out
Nickelback
Photograph,
is
you
shit.
know every single lyric, don't you?
I don't.
You know every single
really
lyric
don't.
to Photograph. Everyone does. You're a liar.
Photograph.
Is that how it goes?
That's exactly
Photograph
it.
my fucking photograph.
That's it.
Yeah.
You got it. He's a
Been a
fanboy.
couple of photographs since then. Haven't photographed since God knows when.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and